In the current tutorial, we will do something that is quite different. We will use the same plugin that we used in the last one, in the last tutorial that I uploaded. So I am talking specifically about Sketchyphysics 3.2. We will use this plugin to create a crumbling effect. So as you can see, I uploaded this model that represents a big Soviet-style apartment building that is made up of prefabricated concrete panels. So basically, the technique that I will show you today will make possible the creation of this effect that will simulate the whole building basically collapsing on its own weight. So all of the walls that you see that make up the building, all of the concrete panels will start to detach randomly one by one from the building and crumble, and the whole effect is quite interesting, and it is also very fun and very easy to do. So before getting into details, I will give you a little bit of I will actually show you how the effect actually animates, and after that I will go more into detail on how you can actually obtain the same effect with one of your models. So in order to activate the crumbling effect, we will just click on the play button, and we will see that the building basically will start to deform gradually, and after that the walls will start to detach from the structure. So we just need to wait a few seconds, and we can see that already the effect started to animate. We can see that for example, this wall, basically the walls that make up this lateral wall, they are just starting to detach themselves from the building, the floors are also collapsing, and the roof is also starting to collapse. So basically this is how the effect actually animates. We can see that the facades, the main facade of the building, where you have the entrances, the wall panels that are there, are already starting to crumble one by one, and this is how usually the whole effect will unfold. So I will tell you exactly how you can obtain this, and you'll be surprised, but there is not actually too much to be said about this effect. So one thing that I really need to mention is the fact that we won't use too much the actual plugin, so we won't use any type of specific settings or any type of tools in order to create this effect. We will what we actually need to learn is how we can actually model, how we can actually construct the actual model in such a way that we can make this effect possible. So the main secret of creating this effect is that the whole model needs to be made up of separate groups, or separate components basically. So if you can see, if I click on this wall, already its outlines become blue. So this is this basically indicates the fact that that this wall is actually a group. And to make things even more easy, I would usually suggest to create this effect with with buildings that are more simplistic in their architecture usually, because the more simplistic the building is, usually the whole effect will usually unfold in a better manner. So it will have a to say so, it will be more visible to a certain degree, and it will be easier like to actually generate. So we can actually see that the whole building, actually all of the walls that make up the building are actually groups. So you can see, for instance, that the architecture itself and the facade are extremely symmetric and repetitive. So what I did, actually, I created a wall like exactly like this, and after that I replicated it numerous times in order to actually create the facade of the buildings. And after that I went with the same method to actually create the floors. To actually show you how you can do this, I will upload a new file, and you can see that in this file, like we have the same building, but we basically just have like the ground floor. And I will actually show you how easy you can actually create a building from like walls that are made into groups. So we have already like the walls that make up the ground floor, and what we need to do is actually click on one of them, and after that we just take the move tool and click Ctrl and just create a duplicate of like the wall, so basically of a group. And after that we can do the following. So we repeat this numerous times, as you can see, again and again. Yes, we can actually after we create another floor, we can just select like two walls and duplicate them at once. So yeah, so we can do various techniques that can actually make our work very, very easy. Okay, so we need to like also put this wall right here, and after that we will duplicate it several times. Very important thing is that you need to actually fit the walls as well as you can, so you don't you should not have like spacing between them. You need to make them as you need to fit them as well as you can, you know, for aesthetic reasons. Especially I won't waste too much time with this, because I just want to show you how you can construct a building very easily. And after that you can actually do this. So you just select two floors and you duplicate them, and so this is how you can actually create the building. And if we activate now the animation, you will see that the whole thing collapses. But because here we don't have a solid floor, so if we just put this under our building, yes, you'll see that actually the whole thing animates very differently. and you see that everything slowly collapses. But for instance, if we will select, for example, these walls, and we will go to the freeze option, and we click animate again. Actually, we need to, let's try again. Let's go to static. So if we actually click on static, we can see that the walls that we choose this option for, they actually freeze and they don't move anymore. So for instance, if you want a particular parts of the building to not collapse and other ones to actually collapse, you will always need like to select those that you want to remain in a frozen state, and like to choose for them the static option. So this will create a huge difference, and you can actually make all sorts of mixes and to create all sorts of like crumbling effects, you know, somewhere like the building actually collapses just various segments of the building, or if you just want the whole building to collapse, you just leave everything as it is. So going back to our initial file, so as I mentioned, this is like the whole secret with like the crumbling effect. You need to create everything through groups. Every wall, every component of the building needs to be a group, and you just need to leave everything in the default mode when it comes like to the plugging. And if you want, for example, certain parts of the building, for instance like this part, to not collapse, to not crumble, you need to select the walls, the groups that make up that particular part of the building, and to select the static effect. So for instance here, if we select static, we will see that we can see that this particular segment of the building is frozen, and basically it won't collapse as the other two segments that remained in the default mode. So this is all that I had to share with you for today. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and if you want more tutorials on Sketchyphysics animations or modeling in general in Sketchup, please let me know, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Please subscribe and comment on my channel, and see you soon.